They have been called medicine men, witch doctors, voodoo priests, depicted in the old Tarzan movies as primitive savages, even cannibals. Their rituals and beliefs dismissed as superstition. But what if I told you that behind those stereotypes and cliches is a healing power that is real, one that cures disease of all kinds on the African continent and might work just as well anywhere else? What we call voodoo or faith healing, there's a genuine knowledge of traditions that are 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years old that they use, which to us seem irrational and illogical. But we shouldn't just write them off. These are the healthcare providers for 85% of the people living on the African continent, where even today, access to modern doctors and hospitals is very limited and very expensive, if it's available at all. Nearly 1 billion Africans rely on traditional healers, and guess what? Many of the things that they're doing seem to work. They're very protective of their herbal knowledge and their traditions. But we've been trying with my foundation to work with them enough so that we can make their knowledge and experience available to people in other parts of the world. Traditional healers treat every affliction known to man, often with success. We just don't know how they do it. The work of the mind and the work of the body and the work of the spirit is something I actually drifted into myself, trying to figure out the mysteries of medicine and not limiting myself to what we think and know in these United States has been fascinating to me. And so I was very interested in that, and I've been pursuing it for the last 15 years or so. But for the most part, I've waited to talk about this journey of discovery until very recently.
The spread of this Ebola virus.
Ebola
virus in West Africa.
One of the deadliest diseases in the world.
An international public health emergency.
Ebola's spread to the U.S. is, quote, inevitable.
The first diagnosed case of Ebola in the U.S.
2 Americans who have been infected with the deadly disease.
The disease is now officially out of control.
The worst epidemic of Ebola since the disease was discovered broke out in 2013, then exploded in 2014, devastating West African countries I know well, primarily Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, but also Mali, Nigeria, and Senegal. On this day, not too long ago, I take part in a startling announcement.
Africa's answer to Ebola.
Dramatic scientific findings confirmed by top United States scientists. This is probably the most impressive press conference I've ever been a part of. The notion that a deadly outbreak in Africa could be halted by Africans themselves probably sounds outlandish. Not only Ebola, but just the whole question of medicine, East and West.
In these countries, they do not believe in traditional medical care. So someone could get off a flight and seek treatment from a witch doctor who practices Santeria. This is a bigger fear. We're hoping that they come to the hospitals in the U.S. They might not.
Panic broadcasts like this one on Fox News couldn't have been more wrong. Santeria isn't even practiced in Africa. It's a religion that originated in the Caribbean. The first thing I thought of was a faraway place called Fatick, and a man I've come to know well. Dr. Eric Bedossa is the founder of Prometra, which has worked to organize traditional healers throughout Africa and oversees the Malanga Center in the small village of Fatick, Senegal.
Malango is the Serer language, who mean what need to be done with proudness. Malango. And this center right now help a lot of kind of diseases.
How many patients can you handle?
Each year, this center have about 5,000 patients come from everywhere.
I visited the Malango Center to see for myself in 2003. Life is a bridge between the past and the future. And we are that bridge. Eric Bedossa is a similar bridge builder, a bridge builder between the past and the future.
The future must come back and look at the past to learn from the past.
Dr. Bedossa, one of the wisest men I know, was raised as a traditional healer, but he also is a Western-trained physician, and the Ebola outbreak had reached Senegal. I said to him, hey, look, what did you all do about Ebola before white folks got it? He said, oh, we have our ways. I said, look, whatever it is you do, can you just give me a box of it? I asked you to send me a box of whatever it is you used in treatment.
Really, when you ask me to find our ancestors' solution for Ebola, I know this solution exists.
It has existed for
millennium, long time ago.
He sent me a FedEx plastic bag of twigs and leaves and things like this, which we took to Morehouse Medical School. Researchers at the medical school have been working closely with Prometra and Dr. Bedossa for almost a decade, applying Western standards in an effort to measure the effectiveness of African herbal treatments.
One of our central objectives has been to understand and build trust among traditional healers who are highly respected in West African countries. This partnership has led to today's promising scientific finding.
We made an extract of those herbs at Morehouse Medical School. We sent the extract to Fort Detrick, Maryland. Fort Detrick is the headquarters of the United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases, one of the only laboratories in the United States equipped to study the world's most dangerous viruses. They tested this extract against 3 different varieties of the Ebola virus in Petri dishes, and in each one it stunned and stopped the growth of the virus. Then they tested it against hepatitis, several types of hepatitis. And in the Petri dishes, the same thing happened. And they came back to us saying that this extract, whatever it is, has tremendous potential in dealing with certain kinds of viruses.
Personally, I'm not surprised. Our ancestors have a lot of way of healing. And we don't forget it. This knowledge is not only for Africa. We can bring something to help.
These are very exciting results for us because it helps show us that treatments that are based on experience by traditional healers in Africa have a basis in scientific fact.
So we know it works. What we don't know is how it works. There's no explanation of it. But that doesn't go over too well in the United States, especially when it comes to health care. Western medicine wants and needs answers. You don't get along well with your Western physicians, even in Africa.
This is true.
The bigger picture is that traditional herbal therapies have potential, and we need to open our minds to investigating these and see the scientific basis of these kinds of treatment.
There's no reason why we should not evaluate and try to quantify and qualify 6,000 years of human experience with the best that we know today.
Conventional medicine is too narrow to manage human life. And we think deeply that what we have in our traditional healing system, which is more holistic, can help a lot to bring something to Western system.
Something, and maybe even something big. I even think there's a cure for AIDS, but it might not be in the United States chemical laboratories. It might be in the plant life on the African continent. In Patik, Dr. Eric Bedossa has been treating HIV with traditional medicine. And on a recent trip, we found patients we interviewed 15 years ago. And they're not only still alive, but they're thriving.
She's been tested negative. Doctors, they're really intrigued, actually. They're asking if it's the same person.
At Morehouse School of Medicine, the herbal compound used by Dr. Badosa was put to the test.
We first weighed all those compounds, made the extract in water and methanol to check which one works.
Later, I will show you the incredible results, and we will soon learn and have to admit that there's a lot of strong medicine there. Ritual dances, colorful dress, and yes, even animal sacrifice. Thousands gather on January 10th of each year in the small West African country of Benin to celebrate voodoo, a religion so important it has become a national festival. More than just a celebration, this symphony of sight and sound was established to reclaim and correctly explain an ancient, widely misunderstood system of spirituality that's critical to the social structure and guidance of an entire culture. You may be surprised to learn that the literal translation of Vu is peace, and Du is world. World peace. We made fun of voodoo in Haiti and Brazil, and in the pockets of Louisiana from which I came. We really didn't think about it then, but the gaudy commercialized trappings of voodoo in places like New Orleans are actually remnants of African traditions that spread along with slavery to the New World. My mother, cooking in New Orleans style, had so many different kinds of herbs that she'd put in a pot of red beans or a pot of gumbo. And for her, it always seemed to me that it was for taste. But much of this was also for wellness. Handed down from generation to generation since the days of slavery, folk medicine is still widely practiced, especially in communities throughout the South.
A lot of people were raised by these sages and elders and grandparents. So people are gaining respect for the fact that maybe I need to pay attention to what I heard, Big Mama talk about.
Kim Purifoy, the wellness manager at Sevananda, a natural foods market in my home